welcome everybody to this Mother's Day edition of Fat Guys on Little Podcast with no mothers in sight.
Yes,
I'm your host, Steve, and always joined by
Charles there.
And then, of course, fresh from Illinois, who may have different backgrounds as the podcast goes on.
That got generic. What happened to the good Triple X one?
Now he looks like John Oliver with his white void background. So, and Bill is with us as well. So, as we said earlier, wish a happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. Michelle, Heather, guess Abby, the pet mother, right? That's a thing.
If we're going with that, then sure.
Well, Bill. More importantly, Bill's mom and our mother and all them out there. So, happy Mother's Day to all of you. Did anyone have any special Mother's Day plans for their wives or moms? All right, that's good. Good to hear.
I'm 2 states away from my mother. So
Oh, Michelle, I made her breakfast, and then Holly gave her the.
She's not your mom.
Well, it's you do things for her.
That's a weird thing.
How much did you do for Sandy? Let me ask you that.
I didn't do shit. I don't care. I don't know.
I saw a stack of pancakes, though, or someone was bragging about that over there on May Street.
That was Lorna.
Yeah, she made them all by herself.
Well, I had to mix the shit.
Yeah. So, anyway, so the Mother's Day, congratulations to all of you out there. Do you say congratulations or happy Mother's? I don't know, whatever it is.
Congratulate them for what?
For having kids.
I think you got the wrong audience right now. Hold on, let me sanitize.
Happy Mother's Day, but congratulations.
Yeah,
I don't know. For having a kid, I guess, or being a mother. You know.
Wonderful children you have. Thrilled.
My daughter needed this when the beginning of this pandemic started, and it just sits here. I've had the same thing, hand sanitizer, for 2 months now.
Michelle found a bunch of hand sanitizer at a store, and she called Kim and I think Heather, and if they wanted to pick any up, and Heather didn't want any, and I go, Michelle, Charles made a 40-gallon thing of hand sanitizer.
I mean, but Lorna needed it and never touches the shit. What's going on?
She don't wash her. She's grubby. So, as we always tend to do for the last 3 or 4 weeks, we like to cover some of the coronavirus news briefs out there. And the first thing is, a lot of the small businesses now are getting their money. I know VR Metro got their money from the PPP.
What is PPP technically?
Payroll protection
program. It's the program for the SBA.
So the small businesses, the loans are supposed to go to help pay for the payrolls.
Oh yeah, it's the same one that Shake Shack and the Lakers qualified for.
The Lakers, those small companies of the Lakers.
I mean, a little shit show like VR Metro and stuff makes perfect sense. A lot of I'm glad to see smaller businesses get it, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
that whole thing, that rollout was a bit of a cluster, I would argue.
Yeah.
If Randy uses 80% of that on payroll, it's forgivable.
Yeah, that's what he plans on doing. And there's 80% on payroll, and then there's a certain percentage on rent also you can spend.
Yeah, there's a couple other things that you can spend.
Yeah. So it's good. I mean, it helps out a lot of small companies out there. I mean, not everybody's Walmart and Kroger, right? So
did you guys see that Kroger's rolling back the hero pay too? That's another thing that just came out. I was like, ooh, corporations are starting to tighten them belts, boy. I'm like, it's starting to get real out there real quick.
I don't know how it is in Illinois, but a couple grocery stores here, Meijer's was having some empty shelves this week, as far as like meat and some other things besides toilet paper. Kroger too. Dad was there. He said it was missing some of the stuff that's usually there. So we might
supply chain issues, man. It's crazy.
It's starting to hit them. So
what is going on in those meat plants? They said like 400 people in one meat plant. I'm like, this is unbelievable. Like that's like a quarter of their workforce got it. Like,
are they having Corona orgies or something?
Dude, I don't know, man. They're just spitting on each other in there. Yeah, it's weird. It is unbelievable, man. Some of those numbers, I'm just like 400 people out of 17. Like shit, I'm calling off. Like I'll be at home, dude. But then the president's telling take your ass to work. It's crazy.
So, and then other news now, this is a bigger company, but Uber, obviously everyone's at home, so no one's taking many Ubers. They're laying off 3,700 full-time employees. So that's quite a big chunk for them. Makes sense. I mean, not many people are traveling, so no one really needs an Uber really at this time.
Uber's a weird company when you like look into like their like they run at a deficit purposefully just so that they can get the automated driving thing on. It's a really weird company. Like they know that they're not going to make any money and all. I question the finances of that company, and I by no means do I understand the complexities of some of these corporations. But man, they're all over the place.
Just on a side note, when Bill went to drink his Diet Pepsi, part of his arm disappeared into the background.
Do it again, BB. Let's see.
There's some glitching with backgrounds, but
pretend you're going to drink with your arm.
Let me see your arm disappear again. Oh, you just flaked. It's a pretty good little thing, though. Honestly.
By the end of the podcast, Bill's going to be sucked into the void. There'll be no beats left. So, now as of May 3rd, I saw this news article, end of May 3rd. So, obviously, today's the 10th, so it's been another week. But the top 3 states with the most coronavirus cases. Now, these are cases, these aren't dead people. Bill's state finally stepped up 4,050.
Congratulations.
1,000 of them. He's showing why his state leads because they all went to the beach.
Oh.
1,000
going to be like Florida and all party at the beach. So.
Yeah, Minnesota is slowly creeping back up there. 18, 15, and Texas, which opened up a lot of their stuff, so their cases are creeping back up. I didn't see Michigan on the list. I probably should have looked a little closer, but it was an MSN article. It has the whole top 50 and where we're ranked.
So these were new cases in that week. Is that what you're saying here?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Hey, we're supposed to be flattening the curve.
Yeah, so. Illinois is doing something messed up. Jesus.
States where coronavirus cases are growing the fastest. So, and it's a big slideshow, and it has the list and stuff like that.
So if you think about it, Illinois is double in the second place. Like, Jesus.
Yeah. It's off that one house party that guy
yeah, dude. That one. It's 1,000 of them right there. Yeah,
some people have learned the hard way.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
So leading into that stats, Charles, you can tell us the Wayne County stats.
Yeah, so our usual conversation that we have, it's 17,960 total. And again, this doesn't include people who have recovered. These are just cases that they've diagnosed with the health department. And that drops down, but it's slowed if you look at the number. So we went to 1 out of 97 people have had a case of coronavirus in Wayne County, which is actually pretty close to last week. It was 102. So... But if you look between the 2 weeks ago, it was 113 to 102. So that was about 11 people. Here it only moved 5. So Gretchen, as much as people don't want to admit it, it's doing something to actually, slow it down in our state. I can't speak for Illinois, but, at least Michigan. It appears that Michigan's kind of got their act together and is slowly starting. It looks like it's kind of, and people don't want to talk about Trump or whatever. There's going to be those pockets that they refuse to admit is just going to happen. Like you're going to see certain states get riddled with it for a little while, and then it's just going to move on and kind of it's virally moving, and people just don't want to admit that, at one point you could be good and at one point you could be bad. So it's crazy.
Now, another news note I saw over the week that I didn't even realize, there is almost 100,000 employees of these cruise ships that are still stuck on these cruise ships for like months.
Yeah.
Because they won't let them off because they may feel they have coronavirus or something. And you
well,
can
most
Google
of them
it.
are international too, aren't they? So like most of them don't. Yeah. So like that's the weird thing about cruise ships. They're like registered out of the Bahamas, not out of, so like most of their crew members are not. They're from those island nations, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah. Well, the ones I was seeing were actually American workers. Like one's a lounge singer.
Oh, geez.
The other lady's like the head of catering, and like they're showing videos from their cabin. They've been stuck there.
I tell you what, though, they feed you really well on those cruise ships. As long as they can keep the food streaming, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I guess.
You get a nice cabin and just chill out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
And you work on the boat, so I guess you're kind of used to it. But after a while, you probably wanted to just go home after a while.
They're saying
how long do you have to be on a cruise ship before it's, everybody that's going to get corona has gotten corona?
Yeah, it's going to spread so quickly. But I would assume in the staff quarters it's got to be leaner. You know what I mean? It's not like the patrons or whatever. You know what I mean? The whole thing's kind of crazy. There's a bunch of Charleses stuck on these floating hotels in those places going, God damn it. Like, I want to go home. Nope, you got to stay. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
So if you're stuck on that cruise ship and you're an employee, won't you just take like the honeymoon suite or something?
Damn right, dude.
I'm gonna take the biggest
Give
room
me
I
the
can
El
find.
Presidente on freaking the 10th floor, dude.
I mean, if I gotta live in this cruise ship.
Yeah, but they're saying that people are booking, and again, I went to Menards, yesterday and stuff like that after work, and I had to wait in a huge line to get in that place. So we talk about it week over week at this point. Like those cruise ships are gonna go, man. So Norwegian cruise lines or whatever was already booking, for next summer and everything there. So good for it,
Yeah. And then now, if you guys remember correctly, this year Wendy's started that fresh beef prerogative,
fresh, not frozen kind of shit, right?
And there goes Lily.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's doing, but so fresh, not frozen. Well, that's kind of bit them in the ass now, because whoever supplied their fresh beef, they must have got hit with the coronavirus. Wendy's, and this was on the news, no beef products. Everything they're selling is chicken. And I went to the local Wendy's here because my daughter loves the spicy chicken nuggets. It's like her thing. And we got a picky 16-year-old. And literally the menu was cut in half. Like they cut the beef off the menu.
Jeez.
You could not even order the beef at the Wendy's.
If it works for Chick-fil-A, though, so Wendy's is going to become the new Chick-fil-A, I guess.
I guess so.
Spicy chicken is a delicious sandwich, so I don't know if it can sustain the company, but it's a delicious sandwich.
So we'll see how long it takes for Wendy's to start getting their beef supply back up. But as of right now, there is no hamburgers at Wendy's.
I wonder if they're going to ditch and just have to say, during these times, we got to go back to the old ways, or they're going to stick to their fresh, not frozen quality thing. I wonder. Yeah, it's crazy.
Right now, they're probably just praying for beef any way they can get it.
BD often prays for beef. It's really weird.
I think all three of us try to on occasion.
Yeah, just pray for beef.
And then here in Michigan, and this one kind of affected my daughter because now, mind you, she's a 16-year-old girl, so birthdays are very important to she's going to be 16 June 1st.
No one cares.
And Gretchen extended the lockdown to May 29th, which most likely means everything's going to be locked and closed by June 1st when her birthday is. And her big birthday plan
not according to the hotel. So I can tell you this.
Okay.
So what the game plan is, they want to be open in all their outlets and stuff like that, at least superficially. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be talking about this stuff, but that seems to be
hot tip.
This seems to be that they want to be open for business when Gretchen tells them they're good to go. So, because again, you're talking about a huge revenue stream that's just cut, so they immediately want to get that money going. So, it's entirely possible you see a lot of these businesses because at this point you've got almost 3 weeks to prep for that open day. You know what I mean? So, the problem's going to be is if she extends it, these people are going to lose their shit if she extends it. Oh my God! And at this point, the numbers aren't in on her side if she does. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think she will, though, because all the other states are slowly. But we'll see. It upset Holly because she was really bumming about it. But when you're 16, you don't care about coronavirus. And then her argument is, I won't even get sick from it. I'm like, well, that's
I got to
true,
tell you, and this is an early rant, I'd argue, not at the end of the show. But, all these people that are butthurt for proms and graduations, we're in the middle of a pandemic. I'm sorry that you don't get to walk and it's a big deal to you, but if you've got tens of thousands of people dying, shut up. Here's your diploma. Go on with life.
Well, they're never going to be able to experience.
Yeah.
How about this? Go to college.
Yeah, it's 4
kids,
years.
though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, so think about what Holly said, and I'm not picking on Holly. I'm saying, that's a concept of most kids. I'm not even going to get sick of it. And it's but you're missing the big picture. And the sooner you start to develop a big picture as a kid, maybe, I don't know, man. I'm just tired of everyone pouring one out for there's going to be businesses that are never going to open again. But, so-and-so didn't get to walk with his diploma. It's weird. I don't know.
I don't mind the kids being upset about it. I understand it's a big moment in their lives. But I don't like the parents. Oh my God, my little Joey's not going to get to walk. And it's the parents should know better. But the kids, I get it. 16, 18-year-olds, they're worried about what, themselves and not anybody else. But judging by the Florida bit.
Lily's having fun back there.
Yeah, no, Lily's going crazy, so no one's here to torture. So
I don't know. It's one of those things. The other thing I find so crazy too, and we've talked about it a few weeks now too. People who are struggling to stay in their house for long. I don't. So like, what did you do? Like on your days off, you immediately just ran out of your own house? Like I don't understand. Like I can't be home for this long. Like what's wrong with your house? Like I don't understand.
There's a lot of people like that, though. We know a handful, that even
hopefully Bergeron's listening right now. But I'm just
Bergeron, a couple others. And they they got to go to the casino. They got to go out. They got to go to the parks. They got to go. They can't be home. We watch 20 hours of TV and we're boring. So you can't.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't mind my house that much. I guess I'm just weird. It's not a death sentence to stay home.
So I don't want to dwell on Corona. We do it a lot. So also this past Tuesday was Cinco de Mayo. So did either one of you have any big Cinco de Mayo plans this past Tuesday? Did you guys have some tequila, a margarita, or did you eat some tacos? Anybody?
I had tacos for lunch on Cinco de Mayo, but it was just to happen to have tacos. I didn't even know it was Cinco de Mayo.
Bill, did you do anything special?
Yeah, I worked. I didn't even realize it was Cinco de Mayo either. I don't remember what I had to eat that day either. So probably, I know I didn't have tequila because that stuff's nasty. But yeah.
Charles, you didn't drink half the bottle of the rocks tequila that you got left?
It's sitting up there whenever you get to come back over when life gets back to normal. You can more than welcome to pound the rest of that. I didn't know. No.
So none of us. I had tacos. I did have tacos, but I didn't really have any drinks. So Cinco de Mayo was a big hit and miss up here. Nothing. There was a story. I don't know if you guys heard of this. I think it was in Toronto. A woman. She had a Mexican restaurant, and they sent one of the workers out front dressed like a stormtrooper. Did you guys hear about this?
They arrested her, didn't they?
They arrested her. Yeah, because she had a fake laser gun on her. They literally arrested her But it all got cleared up afterwards. But I thought that was funny. That was
seems a bit extreme. The minute you get up on them and realize it's a rubber gun, you should have chilled out a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And first off, they're dressed like a stormtrooper. Who's robbing a place dressed like a stormtrooper?
Weird. So you're gonna show up to Comic-Con and just start dropping people? It's weird. I don't know. Cops, everyone's on edge right now. I think is what it boils down to.
Yeah, I guess it's better than jogging and getting shot.
Ooh.
Topical there. So anyways, let's go wrap this up. What do you want? No, go away. She's upset I closed all the windows.
Wow.
And then she did a running dive at him, and I taped him on the windows because there's these black boards we put up to keep her from going crazy. She's protesting right now. Both of them are. All right, so that's the Corona. Now, going to reviews. Nobody watched shows besides me this week.
Not really. I didn't catch much. BB, did you catch anything really?
Certainly not 20 hours worth, but no, not really.
So the first up, Charles's favorite. I watched the final of the Clone Wars, and I told you I wanted to watch the whole season before I talked about it.
You broke out the Baby Yoda background. Good job,
BB. He's going to change. For
yeah, dude. That's fun.
And the Clone Wars, this is season 7. It was 12 episodes. And I will say right now, the last 4 episodes were great. They were great. The problem is the first 8 before that were terrible. And again, Charles has always said this. If I have to tell you, if you watch episode 3, 6,
you do
7,
this all the time to me.
So as a whole for the season, I'd give it maybe a 7. And that's being nice. And it's only because of the last 4 episodes take place the same time as Revenge of the Sith, where the clones start turning on all the Jedis. Okay. And you get to see it thereafter Ahsoka and Darth Maul. So you get to see what happens to Ahsoka, what happens to Darth Maul, and you also get to see the fall of Mandalore, which is in the Mandalorian episode, right?
I think they're doing a great job of tying the universe together, but I just that show is insufferable to me. I'll just read a Wikipedia page. I can't. The form of storytelling and then the bad voice acting in it, I just don't like it. I can't.
I can't blame you. I mean, there's a lot of episodes you guys sit through that are even this last season was only 12 episodes, and like I said,
you got Anakin running around whining. It's just annoying. That show rubs me wrong. I can't explain. I don't like it.
And that Ahsoka character, you better get used to because she's going to show up in the Mandalorian. And all
people love
stuff.
The show. I get that, and again. I'll talk about it a little later how I got the new 3D Blu-ray of the new movie. But like, I love Star Wars. It's something about that show just rubs me all sorts of wrong. I can't. I think I need the information from it, but I don't want the show. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I think the last 4 episodes, because they even redo it all. Like the opening's different. You could tell the last 4 episodes they could almost be an animated movie. What they did with the last. But the problem is those 8 garbage ones before it. I mean, there's like Ahsoka goes on an adventure with these 2 sisters, and they're scamming. Like it is terrible. The first 8 episodes, but those last 4 are really solid. So because of that, and a lot of people online are loving it, and it's the greatest ever. But they don't consider this 8 episodes beforehand. So I give it a 7 out of 10. And that's only because of the last 4. It probably should be more like a 6, but I'll be nice and say 7 out of 10. So the next one.
So is it before you jump on? So it's done, right? There's no more.
It's done.
There's no more. Okay.
There's supposed to be a new animated show coming, but nobody knows what it's about yet.
Okay.
So if you watch the Clone Wars, then you watch the prequels, then you can watch Star Wars Rebels, the animated series, and that takes place right before A New Hope. And so you got to piece the timeline together in your head.
Well,
where all this stuff goes.
This
That's another pain
form
in the ass.
of this universe and kind of it is like you said. I can get your point of like it is neat to get like different perspectives because they try to flesh out a universe and like you said, like you only see in certain sections of the movie what's going on over here. It is neat to see that. It's just something about the wrapper that they put that in. I can't take it. I don't know how else to describe it. I just don't like it.
I'm watching Bill move around and not sure what's happening.
he's got his Baby Yoda and I just froze. His whole computer just died. BB's gone. We'll see you, BB.
So, and then next up, is he back?
No, I don't know. He's gone. He's toast.
Did his computer power
froze yesterday on him on the UFC.
They're like, hey, Bill, we're going to give you backgrounds, but we're going to put viruses in your computer.
Dude. Oh, man.
All right. So, now next up is Westworld.
It's a terrible picture that's frozen on, too. I'm posting this YouTube video, BB. I don't care. Just so you know.
Do we need to call him back? Or does he just
We'll figure it out. Anyway, what were you saying?
So next is Westworld. And Charles, how far did you make it in Westworld?
That first season, I watched it, and I just did not like it. And it's, again, I got issues with that form of storytelling that I tend to not like, if that makes sense. Like, that's one of those things I don't like. And it's just that constant reiteration stuff that happens in that way of doing it. It's like, it's that rinse it and repeat, and BB's computer completely died on it, folks. So just bear with us for the technicals. BB died out. So
I'm going to try to get off.
Go that other way. There you go. It's a work in progress, man. The world's messed up. We're trying to figure it out as we go. What else are you going to do, people? But that memento form of storytelling, I'm not a fan of, if that makes sense. So I like the sci-fi trappings of it. I'm intrigued by the universe, and maybe you can convince me otherwise, but yeah.
Well, here's my problem. The storyline's pretty easy. It's basically Jurassic Park, but with robots that you can bang and kill, right? So, and then eventually the robots become self-aware and try to get out. That's a very easy story to understand. But then
the AI becomes smart enough to understand.
Yeah, they
the
become
system.
self-aware and they start. But the problem with how the show is it's constant flashbacks, it's constant. Let's trick the viewer, and it drives me nuts. It's a good show if they drop half that crap. Well, in season 3, they kind of dropped it a little bit. But here's the problem. Now they're outside the park. Spoiler alerts if you haven't watched it. And the main character is Dolores. She's in the other 2 seasons. Basically in the future, it's like 2050, I think the year is. All our lives are predetermined by a giant Google server somewhere in like Los Angeles.
Okay.
It's this giant ball. So baby Charles is born, and then it's going to kind of tell you, hey, you should go to this school, and you're going to meet Heather, but then you should go apply to this, and it kind of directs your life as a human.
Your path is ours. So like it's like a class system or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's a little more dictating.
and it's built by this French guy and his brother. But there's outliers, and outliers are people who are psychopaths and murderers and stuff like that, and they get like almost
they go against their program or their timeline.
So they put them in this big like self-storage bin somewhere, and then so the gist is Dolores is going to take this giant computer down, make the whole world realize that all their lives are predetermined, and then from there she's going to slowly take over the human race with her replacing everybody with robots. I guess I think is the main thing. Now to do this, she needs Aaron Paul. I think his name's Aaron Paul from
Breaking Bad. Yeah.
He's a former military guy, and he's like the key for some reason, but they never really explain it. And they make it way more.
So he's the Neo kind of thing, is what you're saying? Like he's got bigger implications into the system.
Yeah, and Dolores chooses him for whatever reasons, and there is a reason in the last episode, but I don't want to spoil it for people.
You got to get to that point, kind of thing.
It's the lamest reason you've ever seen. Oh. Meanwhile, there's other. Oh, Bill's back.
He's got them technical issues, man.
Maybe Yoda choked him out.
Where are we at?
Oh, we're just talking about Westworld. You're not missing much.
Oh, okay, didn't miss anything. Yeah.
So, and then Aaron Paul feels very miscast in this, and so all
it looks beautiful. I got to tell you, part of me is like, I get that sci-fi itch that I tend to fight a lot. You know what I mean? Like by looking at it, I'm like, man, it looks pretty good. But anyway,
one of my favorite parts of season 3 is there's this app, right? And if you're ex-military or a crook, you download this app and it has like jobs, like go rob this car and I'll pay you $5,000 and you go do it and stuff like that. And you meet up with other people. And one of the main crooks that always hooks up with Aaron Paul, because he's kind of doing it too, is Marshawn Lynch. He shows up a lot. And
the beast mode's there, yeah.
He's got this shirt on that lights up like his emotions. Like sometimes he's bored, it'll say bored. Other times
so it's literally just programming.
He's the highlight of when Marshawn Lynch is the highlight of your acting in season 3. I don't know.
It's funny because like you've described 2 shows in a row to me that like I'm intrigued by like the plot and the science fiction of them, like the Clone Wars, and then into this. Sounds interesting. It's the wrapper that they're putting them both in. I just can't handle, I think, is what I'm boiling down to.
Well, with Westworld, it's the execution. The writers and the directors trying to be cute and flashbacks, and you don't know what time. That shit gets annoying to me real quick. Just put it in order and let me watch it. Not everything has to be Pulp Fiction with the jumbling of stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as it is, season 3, now Michelle hated this season. She didn't even want to watch the last 2 episodes. She got so bored.
Bailing on it.
This is going to get a Steve 6 right here. This really is. If they don't do something a little better next season, can't see it last, but they renewed it for 2 more seasons, so which felt like
it's basically what HBO's got at this point. They've got Westworld and the Watchmen seems to be their big hitters, is what I would argue going forward. So yeah, it makes sense that they would get.
But the guy who does the Watchmen doesn't want to do anymore.
Oh no, okay.
No. So he wanted to be a one and done, but we'll see. They'll come with a bigger checkbook. Then be like, we'll give you 3 more seasons.
Money talks. How much of that integrity you got? Give me that checkbook.
Yeah. All right, so that's the 2 big ones I'm watching all year. I wanted to do them when the seasons were over instead of each individual episode. I did watch a little bit of that Disney Gallery. Did you watch any of that?
No.
The first episodes, they're sitting around with the directors, and they're just telling stories how they made The Mandalorian. It wasn't exciting. Yeah, me being a nerd in the Star Wars, it still wasn't that good. I was like, And they're dragging that out for 7 episodes, an episode per week. I was like, I don't need 7 episodes of them making The Mandalorian.
That show got so much better than they thought it was going to. It's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
They went into that. There's no way they thought that show would be the hitter that they got. There's no way.
Yeah. So one of the ones I did catch on Netflix this week, and it's brand new. I don't know if either one of you guys caught it. Jerry Seinfeld's new stand-up, 23 Hours to Kill. Did either one of you see that?
I'm not a big Jerry Seinfeld guy. BD, you like Jerry Seinfeld?
Love the show, but not a real big fan of his comedy.
Yeah, there's two things from this I took away. First off, the whole opening segment is good. Charles, you'll relate to it great. How his friends kind of annoy him. He doesn't really want to go anywhere, and he just wants to stay home.
That checks out.
The first 20 minutes is great. And the other thing is, he mentions his age in the special. He's 65. I was like, holy shit. Jeez. I did not realize he's 65. It was an hour-long special. He does like last 20 minutes on marriage. And it's just not. You've seen other people do marriage jokes way better than him. It's like, but the opening stuff about friends being annoying and not wanting to go out and do things, every one of us will relate to that one. I love the first 20 minutes. Very clean, he's like Bill Cosby. He doesn't cuss or do anything like that. And I saw his previous one. His previous one did that weird thing where it tied into his history, and this one was just a straight stand-up.
So that's all. So 23 Hours to Kill was literally just a stand-up special. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I thought it was a premise thing. I didn't know.
No,
okay.
no. Yeah. Well, there's a joke in there that basically that's all we're doing in life is just trying to kill so many hours, and that's why you schedule to go to a comedy special. And you'll have to watch.
Oh, so he 23 hours to get rid of. I thought 23 hours to kill, like kill doing stand up as well. Okay, I took it differently.
No, it's part of a joke.
Yeah, I get you.
So I watched the first half hour. It's pretty good, and most of us will relate to it. After that, his marriage jokes, like I said, they've been done better at other places. So. But I liked it better than his first stand-up, so I don't know. I give the first one a 6. This one's probably a 7. It was fine.
Does he resonate like in the world of like modern stand-up at this point, or does this stuff kind of feel a little? What do you think? I mean, he's 65. To your point, like
I think he resonates with people who probably grew up on his show and are in our age bracket or older.
Yeah.
I think people in their 30s and 20s probably look at him and go, "Who is this old weird dude?"
Yeah.
And especially because a lot of his jokes were about just getting away from people. I'm old now. I don't give a shit about any of you. And so, people like us will relate with that. But the young social people who want to be, at the beach at Jacksonville during coronavirus, they're not going to understand him.
So BV should be watching. It's more about BV than it is us. I get you.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, wait, what?
Those socialites is BV.
I still feel on his show, his character was the least funny out of all the characters, but
I agree.
But he probably wrote most of the stuff for the other characters. I'm going to guess him and Larry David, but I'm not a huge Seinfeld fan. But the show, but it's not bad. And then finally, I played a new game, and because I got that Game Pass, I tried Bleeding Edge. I don't know if you tried this, Charles, or a game like this, or
BB's got topical backgrounds.
Ironically, there's no knives in it. It's all these kooky, crazy characters. One looks like a samurai. One looks like a big Samoan guy. Other one's a woman.
You got to break it down. What kind of game is this? I listened to the Bombcast. I didn't hear any of this stuff. What do you got?
Bleeding Edge came out. It's brand new on Game Pass, but you can buy it also. It's $30. It's a 4-on-4 multiplayer game.
Basically, doing what type of game, though?
They drop you. It'd be like us 3 and Christopher, and they drop us in an arena fighting 4 other people, and you got to take over some points, and you're just fighting. You're just fighting and doing.
So it's
all
like
kinds
a beat 'em up
stuff.
thing, or what? It was like.
Yeah, but you need a strategy. You need one character is a healer, one character is a tank, one character is.
So it's kind of like a Team Fortress thing, but not first person, is what you're saying?
It's third person. It's more like, from what I understand, people could tell me Overwatch is similar to it. I've never played Overwatch. So they drop you in this big arena, and you got to fight the other team. Here's the problem. I just played the 3 other rando dudes online.
No coordination. You got smoked.
No. I got dropped in and got smoked.
Yeah.
So it was like, and that's the whole game, though. There's no single player. There's no other modes. It's just one mode. Here you go. You run into a pile and die, and then get regenerated, run into a pile and die. It was not my cup of tea. I'll tell you that.
How are the visuals on it? How did it look?
It looked kind of like Badlands, or Borderlands.
Borderlands, yeah. It's got that weird cell shaded kind of look.
Yeah. Yeah, it's made by Ninja Theory. Same people who made Ninja Gaiden and all them back in the day. If you took your time and learned what each character does, and then if you had 3 other people with you who knew how to play the game, it'd probably be entertaining. But even then, it's still one mode. Nothing else. So I wouldn't recommend it unless you're just a diehard multiplayer guy who loves to do things online. I even Call of Duty or Halo's multiplayer is better than this. So I would pass this up. But
is this an exclusive? It's on Game Pass. So is this an exclusive to Windows PCs and Microsoft Xbox? Is that?
Yeah, I think it is. I don't think it's on PlayStation, but it might be. But it's a newer game. It just recently came out, and I tried it. There is on the YouTube. You'll see I did upload a little play video of it, and that'll lead into one of the things I used for a review later. But yeah, it was interesting, but not for me. I give it like a 3. I don't want to put the time in to learn it. And like I said, there's no modes. You got training, and then that's it. So it's like, really, that's it? So kind of boring. Now, you guys did both watch Dark Side of the Ring this week, right?
Yeah, I watch it every week. Yeah, it's great.
And Bill, tell us about the UWF.
I don't know that much about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was some organization that this guy Herb Abrams kind of put together and got out.
So we were talking. The timeline's like early '90s kind of West Coast thing is what we were figuring out. Anyway, go ahead, BB.
Yeah, that's basically what it is, and he, was able to get quite a bit of name talent to come aboard. Apparently, all on mostly just smoke and mirrors, because.
Mirrors with cocaine on it too. Apparently.
Yeah, somehow managed to book the MGM Grand for all of 200 people, and ended up dead, butt naked, covered
with hookers.
with coke and Vaseline. How that happens, I have no idea, but yeah, it was pretty messed up. But yeah, this is the one story that I had zero background whatsoever on before I saw it.
What about that pay-per-view, the Beach Brawl pay-per-view, where they had like 200 buys, dude?
Yeah. They said
that was the MGM.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. I got to tell you, like, and again, I'm remiss and I am completely wrong, but you got to watch the show. This show is super compelling. I finally watched the New Jack episode too. Holy shit, arrest that man immediately. That guy's out of his fucking mind.
That man should not be walking the streets.
Dude, I'm saying, like, what is happening with this, dude? He's straight up Wolverine. Dude, it's just, oh my God. Like, this, his forehead when he's talking and shit like that look like leather. I'm like, what is happening? Holy shit, man. Dark Side of the Ring is a huge thumbs up, man. Every week it's on, I'm all about it. I can't wait.
And
Super good show.
If you can't find the Vice channel on your cable network, it is on YouTube. You can search Dark Side of the Ring on YouTube, but they put every episode on YouTube.
Is episode or season 1 on there? Can one of you guys check and see if all the season 1 stuff? Because like I said, we're into season 2, and I'm riveted by this show. It is just week over week. I don't have much of a background to BV's point. They even got so obscure that BV lost track of it this week.
Yeah,
it is great, man.
I would say Bill has the most wrestling knowledge. I'm probably number 2, and then even Tyler has quite a bit of wrestling knowledge. Us 3 fat guys all know wrestling, and this UWF stumped all of us. So I was like, what?
That was crazy, man. But to BV's point, man, the talent pool was unbelievable. Right after the 80s, they even had Andre in at one point. Crazy.
Yeah, they had Paul Orndorff, B. Brian Blair. I mean, they had some guys you would think, Cactus Jack.
Snuka was...
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sid Vicious showed up for one of the pay-per-views at the Vegas one. Yeah, so none of them got paid, though. None of them.
But then no one hated the guy who didn't pay him. It was so weird. The weirdest setup for that show.
So they were saying he come from money because in New York he had like a big girl's dress line or something.
I forget what it was called. It's like, wow, someone tell Steve about that hips and curves. What?
Yeah, that's it, exactly. He had a big girl's dressing line that made him and his family millions, and he took all his millions to make a low budget.
Poured it into this crazy, like, I want to show Vince I can do it better. It is crazy. Dude, the oatmeal cookies. We talked about it yesterday. His marketing was hilarious.
UWF oatmeal cookies from somewhere. I don't know where you're going to find them.
We got to try the new cookies, the new WWE ice cream sandwiches. How come we've never tried those? I don't know what we're doing.
Oh, are they out? They're hard to find.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to stop by like Walmart or something. The other thing we got to try too is that new Mountain Dew, that Frostbite Mountain Dew. It's exclusive to Walmart. I got to make a Wally World run when the world gets back to normal.
You can go now. It's fun.
Yeah,
everyone's got masks.
Yeah, great. America.
So, and this
pick up order.
Yeah.
This is the segment of the show where Bill is going to give us an update on Michael Jordan. How is it going on the Michael Jordan documentary?
What's that?
Hold on. Well, no, I'm
The Last Dance. I'm sorry, I'm blindsiding you with this. It's not on the list. But...
It's not on the notes. Okay, that was. Yeah,
Steve's improving a little bit. You gotta.
Oh, okay. All right.
You gotta wait sometimes.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had that in your repertoire, Steve.
Dude, he's versatile. He's on his toes.
Wow. That's showing the chops here. It's going well. I mean, they're by telling the story. It come kind of by telling the story of the one season. They're also sort of in sequence telling the story of the entire Bulls run. They went over the Dream Team stuff. They had so where the issues continue to escalate with Jerry Krause and whatnot. You start to see they showed this thing about how Tony Kukoc had been signed.
Oh, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Well, yeah,
wow.
well, he had been signed. He was like considered to be one of, if not the best European player in the world. And while Jordan and Pippen were trying to win championships and trying to negotiate their contracts, Jerry Krause was too busy out there trying to woo Tony Kukoc, and he drafted him in the second round and was trying to lure him back to the NBA. And so when they played Croatia, it was just or they actually ended up playing Croatia in the gold medal game, and it was a little bit closer. But the first game that they played against Croatia during the round robin play, Jordan and Pippen both they took it upon themselves to just completely dominate him. They guarded him one-on-one or double teamed him or one or the other, basically the entire game. I think he scored something like 2 points. It just looked like complete shit. They made it their personal mission to just destroy him, which was funny to watch. So they spent a lot of time on the Dream Team and started to talk about his gambling. Get into that a little bit more.
What does Steve do?
Wow.
Steve's killing a bug or something.
It was a giant spider came crawling up my wall.
Yeah,
We've got a lot of spiders lately. Sorry.
This upcoming week, I think, is where they're going to cover that third championship, right? And then his dad dies, and then he retires, and then the period of time away, they'll probably get up to where, I think, right up to about where he comes back. And then I imagine, they'll cover the last few years and kind of bring it right to current time on the year, the last season, and then finish it off. But still going well. It's still a good watch. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I would recommend it.
So that is The Last Dance by Jordan on ESPN. There was other sporting events this weekend, and Charles is going to cover them later. But as we go, Clone Wars, the last 4 episodes were great. Everything else was garbage. Westworld Season 3, too confusing. Give it a 6. Seinfeld, 23 Hours to Kill is pretty good. He doesn't cuss much. 7 out of 10. Bleeding Edge, I don't get it. I'm not a fan. And Bill says, still giving a thumbs up to the Jordan Last Dance. And they'll close that out in a couple weeks.
And then keep watching Dark Side of the Ring. Because that shows.
And Dark Side of the Ring is excellent. With UWF and Herb. Is it Herb or Herb?
Herb Abrams. Yeah.
Herb Abrams, yeah. Now, last week you did a board game roundup, and so I was inspired to play some more family board games, and we played a best of 3 Clue tournament. And I realized I'm terrible at Clue. I just don't get it.
It's topical.
So I lost. Michelle, Holly won both games, and then we were like, all right, we're good. So now we got Charles' other favorite game coming this week. We're going to play Life, best of 3. Charles is not a big fan.
I told you, I developed I think Clue is only good in very small doses, is what I've learned during this whole lockdown. Because, again, we're playing an inordinate amount of board games here at the May Street Studios. And it doesn't hold up. If you play a handful of games with it, it's just not very good. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
The other one we played, there's 2 new ones that we kind of checked out this week. A very popular game that a lot of people love is called Sequence. I didn't put it on the show notes. I don't want to confuse BV. You guys
That's a Mr. Henson favorite.
I did. Okay.
What is it?
Okay, so here's the thing. You get a huge board, and it's cards meets Connect 4 is what you have to do. So you have to play. Oh, Steve's vomiting. Oh, someone throw a swab up that nose and checking for the Rona. So they give you this huge board with all these playing cards on it, embossed into the board, and then you draw cards, and you essentially have to connect 5 together by playing the card. I gotta tell you, unless you have a card, and it makes sense that it's a Mr. Henson favorite, unless you have an affinity towards playing cards, the board is extremely overwhelming. It's like it's literally like 2 decks of cards embossed into a board, and you almost have like a seizure trying to figure out what cards you need and stuff like that. It drives you nuts. I was not a fan of that, but to your point, Mr. Henson loves it. Heather loves it too. I think you got to have a playing card kind of vibe to you.
Background. So imagine this: Holly was 5, and Mr. Henson was trying to teach it.
Oh, jeez, there's no way.
I don't know how it went because I walked out of the room. I was like,
That's a little. It's a little premature for that concept on that one.
I don't know if she ever learned it or not. I'll have to ask her.
If she did it 5, good on her, man. She's a smart kid. But yeah, that's a little advanced. Because like I said, even at 41 or whatever it'll be this year, like it was driving me nuts to look at that board. I don't like playing cards. I think is what. I know Steve's okay with it, but not a big fan. I'm not a playing card guy. In worlds where all these other cool games exist, it's not the Old West. Like there are other board games and stuff. I don't play cards. To
me, cards is the ultimate easy party time killer, right? You have a bunch of people over, pull out some cards.
Everyone knows the games, and that's the point. I'm not here. I get that I'm probably not a minority, is what I would argue, but I don't have that affinity towards playing cards. The other game, and this game is great, as BV's got Sherlock Holmes or whatever up there. This game's called Scotland Yard, and this game is. It came out when we were kids, Steve. So this game, you get a huge map of London, and there's 1 million little points on it, and you can take. So basically, the premise is you have 5 detectives and 1 Mr. X, or the person trying to get away from the detectives, and you can take cabs, buses, and underground like subway tubes to get away, and then the detectives have to use tickets to kind of move around and try to capture out and figure out where you are. The Mr. X only reveals himself like every 5 turns. This game is a phenomenal game, and Lorna loves it. Me and Heather, because like as the detective, it's kind of cooperatively. So like the 3 of us were playing, me and you would try to find BV and then you would also work to kind of coordinate strategies because. Again, BV would only reveal where he's at every 5th or 6th turn. So you don't know. He's moving around the board silently, and then he just kind of pops up. This game is great. This is one of the best board games I've played in like even as 40-year-olds and stuff like that, we would all have a great time playing this game. This is a huge thumbs up. And like I said, the next time Holly's over, I'll break it out just so she can kind of convey it to you, man. Game probably lasts anywhere from like 20 minutes to 45 minutes, so it's not a huge time commitment and stuff like that. This game was, oh my God, man, I just can't say enough good things about it. Like, this is a 9 out of 10 if we're going to put it on our 10 scales. If you get a chance, man, play this game. I bought a used copy off eBay for $10, and it's just, man, me and my family have just loved it. There's no other way to describe it. We're drawing notes because as the detectives, Mr. X is sitting with you at the table. So again, me and you are chasing BV. If BV knows what the cops are going to do, he can kind of alter his path. So we're literally drawing maps on like pieces of paper and like handing them to each other. So like you kind of cover this area, I'll go, you know what I mean? Like it is, man, this game is a fucking blast. I don't know how else to describe it.
Now, if Bill is the villain,
yeah.
How, does he get to put his game piece on the board?
Only like every 5th turn. So imagine he's got a chart in front of him. He's writing down the numbers of the spots he's on and using transportation tokens, just like you are. But you see what mode of transportation he takes, but he writes down on the piece of paper, okay, I'm at 102, then I move to 106. And then only like at the 5th turn, he'll put himself on like 108. And then you guys as the detectives go, oh shit, he's over here. And you kind of flood that way, but then you also have to know BV can then move after his turn. Guys, this is a great board game. I got to tell you, man, this is spot on. It starts out as it was a European game and with the whole Scotland Yard trappings and stuff like that. This game is fun as hell, guys. I don't know how else to. And Lorna's 8 and right there with us. I mean, she definitely. So what we do is you get 5 detective pieces. One of us plays 3 detectives. One of us plays 2, and then one of you is Mr. X. I'm the only one to have escaped as the Mr. X one time, and we've played like 10 games. So I'm telling you, man, this is one of the best board games I've played in years as far as new board games. And it's been out since the 80s. I didn't know anything about it. And I just am bringing it to people's attention because anytime I can talk to you about it, and if you could play a game of it, you'd get the point, man. It's just a blast. Super good game. Scotland Yard it's by a company called Ravensburg now. It's really weird. It's hard to get a hold of, but like I said, buy used copies of the old one on eBay.
Yeah, I'm elusive. You'd never catch me.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. I like legit as like 40-year-old dudes, I think we'd really be entertained by playing it. Like, and again, it's not a huge time commitment. Love it.
All right, so big thumbs up for the Scotland Yard. Are you going to try another new game next week, or are you all out of games?
I think there's another game called Castle Panic that I'm taking a look at and stuff like that. We're just having a blast, honestly, over here playing the board games. You know what I mean? Like, it's been one of those things. My daughter's done really well during this lockdown, and I think it's really gone a long way to kind of quell her, want to leave and all that kind of stuff. And just today we played some Sorry this afternoon and stuff like that. So just kind of daily, just kind of getting with her and kind of doing that stuff. And she's been thriving doing it. So we're definitely going to keep doing it.
When is the crossbow and catapults coming?
Oh, dude, I'd play that for sure. Give me a copy of that mug, dude. Yeah, dude, for sure. I don't think you can get that. I got to go eBay that shit after the show. Dude, man, I got to tell you, this whole time with this lockdown has really, and I'm sure Steve could echo this because he talked about his love, Michelle's love of Clue and stuff like that. A good board game is just timeless. If you can find a game that everyone can agree on, it is just a fun time.
When I got the chicken pox, that's one of the things Dad bought me is crossbows and catapults.
Oh man, dude, that's straight up 80s. I wonder if they have like a repro of that. I'd like to check that out.
It's got to still be around.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So big thumbs up to Scotland Yard, and then anyone's playing. No games for you, Bill, this week.
No, it's kind of. I mean, there's really only so many board games that are fun for just two people.
It's mostly card games, probably two people.
Well, even that can get kind of. A lot of card games just with two people can get boring pretty quick too. So
I'm gonna hit up BV midweek. I'm gonna send him. So we're gonna play telepathy over the phone, and I'll show you how to. I can basically take a picture of the game board, send it to you, and then you're gonna pick a square, and then we'll try to guess each other's squares. You know what I mean? Like we'll do this over just so again a newer game that everyone in my house has been thriving on. It's really fun. So. Just to get you involved in it. I'd be curious to hear if you had a good time playing it.
Telepathy.
Yeah.
All right. So last week, besides Cinco de Mayo, one of Bill's biggest holidays hit, May the 4th, Star Wars Day.
Love it.
Bill waits.
He's loving these backgrounds.
He's blocking Vader.
Yeah.
So May the 4th has, and there's always some kind of, there you go.
He went through all the show notes and found a JPEG for everyone.
And every year on May the 4th, they always release some Star Wars news that hasn't been coming through the years. So first up, they released Vader Immortal. Now this is a VR game. Charles is big into VR, but it was only for Oculus Rift and that. And I guess you're a Jedi and you go up against Vader in this. It was released in chapters for the PC, but I guess the PlayStation is getting all 3 chapters at once in one game for like $30 or something along that lines. Charles, any interest in that game?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. I know it was released like on a Lenovo thing or something like that. It was a really weird release. No doubt. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out for sure. When's the release date? Did they give you a date?
I think June or July. Okay. Sometime this summer.
Yeah,
they weren't.
I stay tuned to the channel for a full report on I'll definitely pick that up. Yeah, no doubt.
I want to try that when you get that. So and now also how do you say his name? Taika Waititi. I had to think about it. There's another Vader for Bill.
Oh, that way you can see Vader a little better.
Yeah. He directed Thor Ragnarok. He also directed some episodes of The Mandalorian. And now he's going to have his own...
He got his pub, though, for the Jojo Rabbit thing, right? The movie you really liked a lot. Yeah.
And in the we are in the shadows, that weird vampire thing that the FX show. It was originally a movie made by him, and then they based the show on it. What We Do in the Shadows is what it's called. So he came up independent, and now he's hitting it big time. So they want not a trilogy though. It's not. He's just doing a one-off, like a solo type movie. Or Rogue One type deal.
Heather hit me up about this the other day, and I know I've got Steve, and then I've got the expert in BV. Where are they gonna? Are we gonna see another trilogy? Are they going to break out like a different what timeline are we into? Is it going to skew completely different? Do you have any details on that?
I forgot what the Golden Age or the Olden Age or something it's called. It takes place like 2,000 years before the Skywalker saga, and it's like it's the rise of the Sith. So there was no Sith at this point.
Okay.
Then eventually you're going to see the
dark force is coming into light, and
all the new books are based in this age right now. And then the Ryan Johnson, who everyone hated for the last Jedi,
the second one of the new one, right? Yeah,
he's allegedly the one that gets to do the trilogy.
Okay,
which I'm fine with it. I just didn't like some of his choices in The Last Jedi, but if he does all new characters and his thing, then I'm fine. As long as it makes sense from movie to movie to movie. Like that's the one knock I have on the new trailer. Like here's Snoke. Oh, Snoke's dead. Here's this. Oh, he's gone. So they were contradicting each other in this new trilogy. So if we get one director for 3 movies in the new one, I'm fine with that. But anyways, so Taika Waititi's going to get a Star Wars movie. Ryan Johnson has the new trilogy coming, and rumor is it's either Golden Age or Olden Age. It was like the peak of the Jedis and where the Sith starts to come around. Also for Star Wars Day, they put all the video games on sale. So if you haven't had Jedi Fallen Order, Star Wars Battlefront,
so if you're young Steve, and you got $60 burning a hole in your pocket, or let's say the equivalent or whatever what game could you tell someone, stop everything and play this Star Wars game is where your money should go?
Well, they were on sale. So if I have $60...
No, you don't get to spread it up and use a coupon. Oh, BB just died. He just puked into Vader's ear. It's really creepy. So you got like a game. What are you going for right now, Steve? Tell the audience who might be curious.
The one I'm going to get the most time on and most for bang for my buck, if I can only buy one. But they were both on sale. For
You can't do this.
Star Wars Battlefront 2. You're going to get the most time out of that. You'll play that the longest. You get... Jedi Fallen Order is a really good game, but it's only single player. You're going to crack through it in 20 hours and never touch it again. So that's. But
those are your top 2. Everyone should play those 2 games. Battlefront is an amazing looking game, and anytime I play at your house, it's a great game.
Also, they put all the original OG Battlefronts on sale. They brought back Rogue Squadron. Anything that had the name Star Wars on it, you could have got on sale this past week. That's cool. And most of them are still on sale right now. They relaunched the servers for the original Battlefront from the 2005 game for Xbox. So you can play online with the original. It looks terrible. I saw some people playing it. I was like, oh, this looks
Didn't age well 15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean...
You got that bad Wookiee hair.
Yeah, the current one looks like a movie, and this one looks like... Oh, it looks like Lego people. Yeah. And speaking of Lego people, the Star Wars... The Skywalker Saga is coming to Legos in October, the video game.
Okay.
So you could play the prequels all the way through up to the last one, all in Lego format, in one game coming this October. So there's that. And now also for Star Wars Day, Charles, what did you buy?
Yeah, so I talked about it a couple weeks ago, and it finally showed up. It took 3 weeks to get here. I got a 3D version of the Rise of Skywalker Blu-ray, because Steve knows I won't let this technology go, but they only release it overseas. Like you get it in Ireland and in England, and they basically, so someone imports them and then they play on my Blu-ray player. So I still got the 3D TV. It looks so good. Steve's eyes are broken. It is awesome. I've got basically any movie that has come out for Star Wars. I've got all of the Star Wars movies that have come out recently on 3D Blu-ray at this point, and I can't get.
How much did that cost you?
Cost me $36 to get that Blu-ray imported here to me.
That's with shipping or without?
Yeah,
shipping?
That's $36 all in off eBay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's great. I can't say enough good things about it. I know.
Well,
I got blinders, man. I got Star Wars blinders. I just love that new trilogy. I can't, like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, it looks so good. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, when they're on that ship in those bullshit ass freaking horses, I'm all in. I love it. You know, I can't turn it off, man. It's just so good. Now, let me ask the other question. They've got the 4K version of the OG trilogies and everything on Disney Plus. Are they going to do a proper release of those? Does anyone know?
Well, Skywalker was released on Disney Plus this Monday too. That was part of the news.
No, I'm talking about the original 6. Are you going to be able to get those on a 4K Blu-ray at all anytime soon, I wonder? I know you can stream them off the service. I just was curious. Because my collection, that's the one thing I want to have in my collection so that when Disney Plus decides to do whatever they do, I just want an actual hard copy of those. I just was curious.
That I don't know. I don't know if they're going to or not, but I know they're releasing the whole Skywalker saga in one box set. Now, if that's 4K or not, I don't know. I imagine it would be 4K and Blu-ray together, but Disney gets cheap sometimes. Yeah. sometimes you got to pay a little extra cheddar just to get that stuff. So that's good. That would be the news for Star Wars. This was this past Monday. Bill was just so excited for all of it. He went out and got a Baby Yoda tattoo on his back. It was a whole thing. But
the back of my nutsack.
All right.
I mean, besides wrestling, BV, like, what is the one? Give me like a random, besides wrestling and sports, give me like a random thing that you're all in on. Like, give me just a random, like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like, me and Steve are just all in on Star Wars stuff. We'll disagree on the Clone Wars, but I'm in the minority on that. But give me something that, like, you just have an affinity towards that you just can't get enough besides Cadillacs. Give me something.
Cadillacs. Wow. I don't know, really. I mean, I'm not into that many things.
Your eHarmony profile is getting very
sports.
Weak.
Well, no, I mean, I
long walks on the beach.
No, it's hard for me to just come up with just something off the top of my head. I mean, I'm just not into that many things.
Well, guitar, wouldn't that be one?
Yeah,
I like to play the guitar, but I'm not like, I'll go months at a time without picking it up.
What's like a random like website that you check out daily for some info and stuff like that?
I spend a little bit more time on
besides Pornhub
than I'd like.
Yeah.
No, I do spend more time on YouTube than I'd like to. I tend to go down like stupid rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Like, kind of dumb.
Like those Amazon box orders you went down the rabbit hole.
Oh my God! Yeah, thanks for that. That was a waste of time. I don't know. It's like the cheapest version of like Storage Wars you could ever find. They find like 15
a half broken curling iron.
This generic, covers for an iPad from like 6 versions ago.
Get $5 for that.
Yeah, I mean, I like to follow. I mean, I like to follow markets and stuff, but not really. I'm not obsessed with it or anything.
That's a good question. Like, would you watch like a good, like, I guess would you be into like a crazy financial like that kind of like? What about that American Greed show on like CNBC? Does that talk to you at all? Is that something you're into?
I watched some of it when it first came out, and actually they had a story on the first season. The place that I did my second year summer clerkship for during law school is a company called Health South in Birmingham, Alabama, and their former CEO was actually on trial for fraud while I was working there.
Well,
they televised the verdict, and we're all sitting in the offices of the company. Watching the verdict. We were worried when he was acquitted that he was going to show up and try to take his company back.
Wow.
They changed the format, though, and it started to become a little bit more, kind of more sensationalized and less sort of like deep into the, and it was more than just like financial scams. It was different stuff, so I kind of lost it. But
I got to tell you one thing I got a big affinity towards lately is just I can't turn off that Shark Tank, man. That shit, you talk about American Greed on CNBC, they're playing Shark Tank on the regular. God, that show is so goddamn good. I don't know how I missed that. That was a big Joe thing, RIP, back in the day of like watching Shark Tank, and I get it now, man. That show is super good, man.
I've never seen it. I mean, I know the concept, but I've never seen it.
Super good, man.
They have like marathons of it all the time, and I'll catch myself watching like 5 episodes.
Yeah, and then these assholes that just take $300,000 of their savings account just blow it. Oh my god! Oh, love that show.
Have you seen that show on? I think it's like CNBC. It's with Alex Rodriguez. I think it's called Back in the Game. Apparently he also has.
I don't like Alex Rodriguez. I'll be honest.
I don't like him either, but he's apparently been really successful in his business ventures too. And so there's this show where he goes to former athletes and that have had financial troubles and like helps repair their financial situation. Helps get their finances in order. Like they had an episode that I saw with. I was actually in Michigan one time, just sitting in the hotel one morning watching a marathon. They had an episode with with Evander Holyfield and the one swimmer that's not the male swimmer,
Ryan Lochte.
Lochte, yeah, that's it. I would say the one that's not Phelps. Yeah, it was a pretty interesting show. I mean, I've never been much of a fan of A-Rod, but it was worth watching.
Yeah, it's funny you brought up stock, so I went and looked. My EA Sports stock is higher than Disney at this point.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 116 for EA, 109 for Disney.
Yeah, those Disney ones took a big hit with those parks, man. The park closures are really taking a
all the
chunk
video
out of it.
games when Activision's was $50, now it's $73 this year. So yeah, if you have video game stock, the one thing the coronavirus did, it helped you out.
Grocery stores too, man. Any Target, Walmart, all that stuff. Yeah.
So now I've got a review, and before we go in the review, so I stream games from time to time, and all I want to stream to is YouTube or our Twitch channel.
He's got a Consumer Reports logo. I need an America's Test Kitchen logo for my stuff, BB. Get on the research.
America's Test Kitchen?
Yeah, I love that show.
So, but the problem is with the Xbox, it doesn't stream to YouTube or to Twitch. PlayStation does, no big deal.
Xbox is their Dasher or what a Mixer or whatever.
Mixer, yeah. But I found the one thing you can do is you just stream it to Mixer, then download the video from Mixer and put it on YouTube. Is what you can do.
You just post it, essentially.
Yeah,
there's no interactions, though, and I know a lot of people are way into our Facebook live feeds are way into it.
Yeah. So I got no one interacting with my videos, so I got to worry about that. So I bought, it's called the Razer Ripsaw HD. Now the setup's pretty easy, Charles. You run a cord from the Ripsaw. It's a little square. I don't have it to show you because I took it back. But anyways,
okay.
So you run one. It's a USB-C.
Can I
cord.
stop you for a minute? That you said you took it back real quick. Did Best Buy give you crap about taking the returns back? I know a lot of retail places have been really trippy about that. I just was curious.
One thing you can say a lot about Best Buy, but they've never given me a hard time on returning anything.
Okay.
Open box, missing a piece.
Yeah.
Never. I've never had a problem.
That's
Other
cool.
places,
I like Best Buy. I guess we're just old school that way. But anyway, to your point.
We're dying on a limb because Best Buy is dying too.
Yeah, true.
So you run a cord from your PC to there, and then you take your
what
HDMI
cord are you running? You run an HDMI cord, a USB cord?
No. To the PC, it's a USB-C cord.
Okay.
To USB 3.0.
Okay.
So you got to make sure not 2.0. If you have 2.0, it ain't going to work.
The throughput. You need that throughput.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I had to, and it comes with a cord, but it's only about this long.
Okay.
So I had to buy a new one off eBay for like $10. So
is this just an HDMI capture device? Is that what we're dealing with right now? Okay.
So you run an HDMI from the Xbox into the Ripsaw, and then an HDMI from the Ripsaw into the TV. Got it?
Yep.
Easy setup.
Is this what the Elgatos are? The cam links and all that kind of stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and actually, this Ripsaw is actually rated higher than the Elgato one. That's why I went with the Ripsaw. It's $160 I paid for it at Best Buy.
Some coin. Got that Trump bucks burning a hole in his pocket over here. Look at
Well, it ain't anymore. I got my money back.
Yeah,
but anyways, so here's the problem, though, Charles, and you know this from setting up the podcast, and Bill, even he has problems today.
We never have technical issues. Hold on a second.
PCs and programs have technical issues all the goddamn time. So the first night was Xbox. The feed came through. It worked. All right. The volume worked. You could hear me talking. But if you watch my Star Wars Battlefront 2 video, which ended up on our YouTube channel, it's got crackles in it. Like it
like
cracks.
tearing or something like that?
Yeah,
like
it's missing
tearing?
Okay.
Okay.
It's real weird. Don't know why I did that. So the next day I go to use it on the PS4 just to try it out. Couldn't get the volume to work.
Jesus.
And then when I did get the volume to work, it wouldn't register the headset. And it was hours upon tweaking. Eventually I just got pissed. Took it all apart.
Oh, jeez.
I contacted Best Buy. They said, hey, just drive up and guy will come to your truck, which I did. Came to the truck, handed it to him, took it back, got my money back. If you're a full-time streamer, sure, go ahead and do it. Tweak away. It's going to take you days to get it all working because you watch all the videos on YouTube. All they show you is how to hook up the cables, which I already did right. That was already working.
You get ins and outs. Yeah. It's not a big deal.
OBS Studio is what I was using. Same thing we're doing this podcast on. And it was just a giant headache. It was for something I'm just going to do part-time occasionally for my house. I don't want to spend hours tweaking this thing. So I figured out ways to stream from the console without even having to buy an extra item. So it went
So what
back.
way you got there? Like, tell the audience how they could stream from the consoles. Like, what do you got there?
Well, the console has built. Okay, so PlayStation. First off, it's automatically built in YouTube or Twitch. You hit the share button. You put in your login and stuff like that.
So you get your creds and put that in there, and it'll link your channel to your PlayStation.
Yeah, and if you have a camera, like I bought on a previous podcast I showed everybody, you can even put your little face on there, and then you can just stream right to YouTube.
That's
or Twitch.
inherently baked into the console.
Yes. Now, if you want to go to Mixer or Facebook, you can't do that from the PS4.
But
there's
their
workarounds.
ecosystem, yeah.
But there's workarounds from that too. You can do the remote play app on your PC for PS4, and then use OBS to go
capture that. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. So there's ways around everything, but it just takes a while. But the quickest
and
way.
then the less native you make it, the more jank there is to it, and the more problems you are chasing.
More delays, more volumes.
Correct. Yeah. Why is this happening? I don't know. I've got 6 things I got to figure out.
Yeah, and for something I just want to do for fun, to show people some gameplay from time, and streaming from your PC is super easy, right? All you need is OBS. You do a screen capture.
Same way we do this here. Yep. Okay.
I could stream from the PC in 3 minutes. It's not a big deal. PlayStation.
But again, you don't see a hardware. You don't see a performance tank because of this, right? You're okay?
I have not noticed that.
Okay.
The only time I noticed it was with the Ripsaw and running it through the Xbox into the PC. That's when I got those weird drop frames and that glitching. So if you're doing this part-time and just something for fun, I do not recommend the Razer Ripsaw at all. I give it a 3. It's ridiculous. You're going to be tweaking for hours. I could have went to support, and by then I was like, just give my money back. I'm done with this. If it's something you do for full time, I imagine you'd have an internal capture card in your PC if you were doing it full time.
What kind of price are you looking at for those? Like what kind of?
Those are like $400.
$400. Okay.
Yeah, those must be. I'm assuming are the best ones out there, and when you run it through the PC. Because then you're not getting any delay because you're going directly into the PC motherboard and you're using your processor. And
there's no bus issues with USBs and all that.
These external ones where you're depending on the processor and stuff or whatever's inside that little box. And it gets hot. It gets warm just from streaming for an hour or so.
Yeah.
So I can't personally recommend it. I do love Razer's products. I have a Razer Fight Stick. I like it a lot. I've had Razer mouse before. I do like them as a company, but this particular thing, I didn't care for it. So, but I got my $160 back. So, and Best Buy does not give you a problem. You just drive up, the guy comes to your car, you hand him the box.
Cool.
And here's my credit card. Take it off there, or put it on a gift card, or whatever you want. So, unfortunately, I will be streaming the normal way and not through that system. And I don't think I'm going to give the Elgato a try. I think my
Steve's out. Yeah.
I just put dirt on the hole.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I think what this is also, and I know you don't want to hear it, and BV's in the market for a new PC as well. I think it's time to upgrade your PC, Steve, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I think...
No, I agree with you. I've been looking...
I think
Bill,
BV's looking into a laptop. You need a desktop. I think it's time for upgrades, is what I think.
I don't know. After the last couple days of my little, sudden issues with my my desktop here, maybe I need both.
Yeah.
Power cut now.
Yeah.
So I've been looking at those. Trust me, probably around Memorial Day. I got I got some money I got a couple I'm at Best Buy. So, but Bill brings up a great point though. What happened? And what year was it where every gaming PC has to have weird RGB lights in them? What is the point?
Oh yeah.
What is that? I mean, is it some kind of like a light? Like gamer lifestyle. You know, you can't just have some
I don't get it.
almighty computer to play games on. It has to have a clear box with a bunch of pastel colors shooting all over the place.
Yeah, I'd save me $100 to take the lights out of it.
Yeah, that's true. Take the lights back and knock it off the price. Yeah, that's a good point.
But they don't. They all come with it, so you're just kind of stuck with it, I guess. I find it weird. The other Logitech headset I have has the lights in it built in it too. I just turn them off. It's so
when
stupid.
When you're at Evo, you can turn your shit on.
Yeah. When I go back to Vegas and I'm in that place.
Ready to go at the Corsair place. Yeah.
So are you ready to tell us about your Instapots?
Yeah, so I kind of tickled your ass with, thank you, BB, for America's Test Kitchen. Thank you. I tickled your ass with a feather about a couple weeks ago. I bought some Instant Pot products. They're called Instant products because that's their branding. So I bought an Instant Pot Evo Duo, and I bought an Instant Vortex Plus. The Instant Pot Evo Duo is basically an Instant Pot. I bought a 6-quart version. I know BV said that him and Abby, well, mostly Abby's all about it. I got to tell you, going through these items first off, let's talk about this Evo Duo. This thing is a godsend. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. This is unbelievable. So we had a slow cooker recipe that we used to make this we still do actually, but I'm saying we would make it in a crock pot, this weird taco soup that's delicious. And Lorna loves it too. It's got black beans, corn, all this kind of stuff. But it's one of those things you got to turn it on at noon for dinner time. Do you know what I'm talking about? So we're usually talking about a 4 or 5 hour cook on this thing. Heather made that mug in an hour, dude. We're talking 25% of the time, dude. It was unbelievable. Tasted exactly the same. If anything, the chicken fell apart more than it did in the crock pot.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the big things I like to make in a crock pot is the pulled pork, and it takes like 6 hours.
It would take you an hour and a half, dude. Dude, it's unbelievable, Steve. Oh. It is.
You're selling me.
I gotta tell you, you see all these white ladies at Kohl's talking about these Instant Pots, man.
All those Karens.
Yeah, man. Karen's right. A Panera Bread talking about Instant Pot. She is 100% right. I'm telling you right now, this thing is amazing. It's got. Me and BV talked about how he's got a rice cooker option on his. So far, we used it twice. Once for that chicken soup that we're a big fan of in our house, and then the other time was for a stroganoff recipe Heather looked up. The problem was in this stroganoff recipe, if you could follow me for a moment, the noodles overcooked in 8 minutes. They became too mushy. I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I don't know what kind of voodoo with these pressure cookers this shit is doing, man. But huge fan of this Instant Pot. I'm going to sous vide a steak. That was the one option. So if you're looking at a regular Instant Pot is about $100. The Evo Duo one's a little bit pricier, but you get that sous vide option. And sous vide cooking is basically boil in a bag, and then you sear it off, and you do 150 degrees, and then you let it circulate for a long time. I'm going to try that. That's why I went to this one, because that opens up a whole new range at America's Test Kitchen, so I can sous vide steaks and all that kind of stuff. So huge fan. BV and Abby are right. All the white ladies at Kohl's are right. These things are amazing.
I was disappointed we don't have the version that allows you to sous vide.
Oh, see? Yeah.
So we may need to buy a new one.
Got to check it out. I'm going to have a full report because you're damn right I'm doing that. I've got my food saver. I'm going to vacuum pack some steaks, sear them off on the new Weber Performer grill. I got to try that. Now, the other one we bought is called an Instant Pot made this as well. It's called the Vortex Plus. This is their air fryer version. Again, Steve, this thing is a godsend too. I am way into this company, man. Karen is 110% right.
Now, how fast can you cook a bag of tater tots in the Vortex?
Okay, so here's the thing. It's not the Vortex is no faster than any other air fryer. The game changer on the air fryer here is it has a rotisserie basket that you put into your tater tots, or your tater tots go in this basket. So again, we all worked at McDonald's, all three of us sitting here. You know how you get the alarm to shake the fries, and you got to break them up. So this rotisserie basket is constantly just rolling them tots. So
are you getting an even crisp on
Correct,
all the tots?
Steve. You are 100% right. The problem was
like the lump,
dude, Steve. So we had a Philips air fryer, great air fryer. But again, you had to periodically throughout the cook, kind of shake it. This is taken. The only problem I see here, Steve, that rotisserie basket is a little smaller than my old Philips air fryer. But now you think about it, it comes with the plates. If I really was in a pinch and needed to cook a lot of tots, I could do it on the plates, but it wouldn't have that rotisserie action. The rotisserie action is a game changer here, gentlemen. Oh my God, I am so into this freaking air fryer. It is so good. The only other thing, too, with the basket is a little gangly, I'll be honest with you. So imagine you got them hot tots and you pull them out of your Vortex Plus. You got to then take the top off the basket and then dump your tots off. It's a little bit to get used to. I'm just going to be honest.
How do you not burn your hand?
Yeah, but I got good OXO gloves that I use, the silicone gloves and stuff like that. But man, these are 2 Instant Pot products. It's Mother's Day. Take your ass to Target. Get mom any of these items, man. Fantastic items. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid of the Instant Pot. And like I said, that we had some French fries. We had some crinkle cut French fries out of the Vortex Plus. It eliminated my air fryer, my regular toaster. So now I do my toasting in the Vortex Plus. And it acts as my toaster oven. So like it eliminates 3 devices. The Instant Pot Evo Duo eliminated my rice cooker, eliminated my crock pot, and now it's 1 device too. So here's 2 solid items that made from 3 devices down to 1, and they do everything fantastically. I'm drinking that Kool-Aid, man. It's a huge thumbs up for both of these products so far. And like I said, the only problem I would run into is, and it's a weird thing, but like I said, in that stroganoff, that noodle almost went a little too much. You know what I mean? Like you almost have to tweak your recipes, understand that the first time you do it, you might have to go, okay, we went a little over here. We got to dial it back and stuff. But man, both of these are a huge thumbs up. I don't care if Bergeron tuned out during my Instapot drama. I love it. I'm a huge fan. I'll be at Kohl's getting my Kohl's bucks with all the other white ladies.
So, not a big thumbs up for the Razer Ripsaw. It's just a big headache. But the Instapot Duo and the Instapot Vortex, big thumbs up from Charles. You can cook all your tasty foods quickly and efficiently. $120 each, $160 for the Ripsaw. So there you go, some new items. Now this next segment is a little like rapid fire, but I just found something. I follow TVLine.com, and TVLine always kind of puts an article up what to watch this week and some interesting shows. And some of these I missed on the rapid fire, so I wanted to get both of your opinions on some of these. So now the first one coming up this week is called Becoming. This is on Netflix.
BB's on it, man.
This is her 34-city book tour and Michelle Obama, and it follows her around going through her book tour and how she inspires people. Is anyone here interested in Becoming, Charles or Bill?
I'll tell you. Is it gonna be? First of all, I am attracted to Michelle Obama. I got to be honest with you. She's an attractive woman. I don't care.
She's pretty.
Yeah, she's hot. Are they going to be candid and honest, or is it a fluff piece? In other words, is this Shaq's life, or is this like a behind the scenes? Like I want to see, I want to see them actually, like, kind of like, oh, I didn't realize this many assholes was going to show up, or you know what I mean? Like I want to see like them being human beings, and I don't know if that's necessarily going to be this documentary. So I would be intrigued to check it out a little bit, but I don't know if I would stick with it if it was a fluff piece.
And Bill, any thoughts on Becoming with Michelle Obama?
No, I agree. It has the potential to be really interesting, but it also has the potential to be exactly what Charles was just saying. It's a total fluff dud.
And do you think Michelle Obama's hot, BV? Yes or no?
I'm not mad at her. Yeah,
yeah,
I think all 3 of us do, but a lot of people.
The hottest first lady that I've ever seen, dude. Be honest.
First of all, for your average guy, if you're talking shit about the way Michelle Obama looks, you're either just a frickin' hater or you're just downright frickin' racist.
Yeah. Well, there's that.
The chick looks good.
Dude, I'm just telling you, man. She ticks a lot of boxes for my. I'm just telling you.
So the next series, I've always heard positive things about this. Even our friend Wiggs watches this one. A couple other people I know. It's called Brockmire. He's like this eccentric sportscaster, but it's on a very weird channel, IFC. I don't know what channel that is. Hank Azaria plays the main
Independent
character.
film channel, and it's where that Portlandia show also is on
okay.
too.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's a very niche channel. To Steve's point.
Yeah, so if you can find this series, I would be interested to watch it. But the series finale just happened this past week. I eventually I'm going to find this series either on Blu-ray or on DVD or something, and I think I might check it out because I've heard positive things, and I like Frank Azaria. So, any interest from either one of you about Brockmire the series?
I tell you this, I like Hank Azaria, big time voice from The Simpsons and stuff like that. Yeah, I like Hank Azaria. I think that the IFC stuff is on Hulu. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's available on Hulu. And to your point, I've heard nothing but good things about it. So, you know what I mean? It makes sense. But yeah, I not on my radar initially.
And Bill, this might be up your alley with him being a sportscaster. Any thoughts on it?
It sounds pretty interesting. I mean, I'm not going to scour the earth to find it, but if I happen to
when it's on like channel 1286,
hell, I mean, if Wiggs will watch it, if he's going to use his valuable time for it, it must be pretty good.
The discerning taste.
That's television for those who do not watch 20 hours of TV a week.
Yes. I'll have to find that show. I think I'm going to eventually watch it. And I heard it's funny, so hopefully. Now, this next one, I've watched one episode of this, and this is one of those shows where I was hoping for something way better, but then you realize it's on CBS, and it stars the guy from Bones. This is SEAL Team Season 3
David
finale.
Boreanaz, or whatever his name is.
Have you not been kind of almost trapped by the commercials? Like,
no, it's a CBS show. They're terrible, dude. CBS is awful. You got to be 110 years old to like that channel. I hate that channel.
Well, your Survivor's on there.
Yeah, I record it and watch it with one eye, the other eye doing something else.
Bill, any thoughts on SEAL Team on CBS?
I've never been able to get into any of these kind of shows. Like, I don't get into the CSIs or the NCIS.
This isn't one of those, though. This is more of like a fire team or whatever.
It's a little more extreme.
Yeah.
It's like military, I thought.
I haven't seen a non-sitcom on CBS that I remember liking since The Mentalist.
Yeah.
So,
I'm impressed you like The Mentalist.
I did like The Mentalist.
All right, so nobody's down with the SEAL Team. Now, this one I mentioned earlier, it's Disney Gallery, it's The Mandalorian, it's the behind the scenes, it's 7 episodes of the making of a show that's only 8 episodes. So I watched the first one, full disclosure. I thought, okay, I don't need to see any more. Charles or Bill, any thoughts on this one?
So Steve hit the Tiger King and said the Tiger King should have been an hour-long documentary.
Well, this should have been.
This should have been a 20-minute YouTube video that I caught randomly on May the 4th, where they kind of did quick clips of how they made stuff.
I agree with you.
I've talked in the past of how they digitally created those backgrounds and stuff like that, and there is some neat tech there. 7-part series on Disney Plus. I don't know, man. They don't know what to do. They're just looking for content.
That's a dead horse. They're just kicking.
Yeah.
Bill, any thoughts on that show?
Let's see. Disney, Mandalorian,
it's
multiple
every box
episodes. That sounds to me like the holy trinity of no.
So you're saying you might watch it? Is that what you're saying? All right.
Yeah, I'm sure it's worth the $12.95 just for 1 month to see that. I'm sure it's phenomenal.
So this is a little backstory on this last one. Back in 2013, there was a direct-to-DVD movie called Snowpiercer. It starred Chris Evans.
Yes.
And now you know him. He went on to be Captain America.
People love this movie. People love it.
It's okay. So the world hit
an apocalypse. On a train, right?
It's a giant train. They built a giant train, and it has to stay in constant motion because the whole Earth is like below zero freezing. So this is a self-sustaining
as long as it's moving, they can live.
Yeah, and towards the front of the train are like the higher class people. Towards the back of the train are low class, blah, blah, blah. And so TNT is now going to make a TV series based on it. Now, I saw the movie. I thought it was okay. Never want to see it again. So I'm not inspired to see the TV show. Either one of you inspired by that to see the TV show?
The problem is you said it's on TNT, and TNT shows suck. So I'm not interested in this one, VV.
Yeah, I'm just not. I'm not into this post-apocalyptic stuff. It's just it doesn't interest me.
Because you're living it right now. Is that what that is?
Well, no, it's just I'm not. It's just you're getting outside the realm of. I can't.
Too far outside of
reality very well. Yeah.
I like two post-apocalyptic things. What? Mad Max and The Walking Dead. And after that, I think I'm pretty much done on post-apocalyptic stuff. Can you think of any other ones that would be better than those? I can't think of any post-apocalyptic ones. So Snowpiercer, my boss loved this movie, by the way. He watched it 4 times. I couldn't believe he watched it 4 times.
People do. I've heard a lot of good things about it. You were lukewarm on it. I don't know.
I mean, I'll say for a direct-to-DVD movie, it had a pretty good-sized budget and looked pretty good. But the concept was so screwy. Everyone's living on a train. It's like, what? All right. But anyway, I mean, that's how we're going to save the planet? We all wouldn't go up in a ship or something? No, a train. All right. Well, okay. All right, Charles, let's get down to it. We all watched it. It was the only sporting event this past weekend, really, to speak of, besides BV's Korean baseball.
How did the Fujikawa Falcons do, by the way? Oh, man. We need the Korean baseball background. You got to look us to that.
You can't find one of those.
So UFC.
Is that a challenge?
Yeah. UFC 249 took place. Sports are back. They tested everyone. One guy got popped for corona pre to the whole thing, but Dana White has touted that it was a complete success. I don't know. I thought that we kind of discussed. So, again, we got the pay-per-view. We all sat around the digital room and watched it together. Let me go through some of the results, and then I'll give you kind of our thoughts. So Justin Gaethje won the interim lightweight title. He beat the brakes off Tony Ferguson. Henry Cejudo got a second-round KO, which Dominic Cruz was a little pissy about over Dominic Cruz, and promptly retired and said, I'm out. The other one, Francis Ngannou, that fight literally lasted about 8 seconds, rather, and then it was over. Against Jarinso Rosenstruck. And then, what do you call it? Donald Cerrone lost in the prelims and stuff like that. So Anthony Pettis won there. I thought that Steve touched on it when we watched the broadcast. It did not struggle not having the audience that the WWE had issues with. BV, you think the same way?
Yeah, it's different. Because you don't have, WWE so much on playing to crowd reaction, and this is just a sport. I mean, 2 guys could be fighting, in an empty alley, and it'd be exciting to watch if it was a good enough fight.
Yeah. Steve, did you have the same opinion? You definitely still feel that same way?
Yeah. I thought it was pretty solid, even without the crowd. WWE, it's just a nightmare to watch without the crowd, where this is still very watchable.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what happens far as like basketball, football, and baseball when they don't have crowds.
That's going to get weird. Yeah, you baseball, break out like a basketball game where all you hear is like skips of the shoes and the ball dribbling. That's going to drive me nuts. Yeah, that is going to be weird.
And I don't think it'll affect baseball that much because there wasn't that many people in most of the crowds anyway.
Touche. Yeah.
But football and basketball without crowds is going to be very interesting.
Yeah. I got to tell you, they had the same production value that they would of any other UFC pay-per-view. It's like they didn't skip a beat. I think that the ability to quarantine these guys and test them and everything like that, I don't see why there's an issue with this going forward. I would argue that more states are going to look at the show that they put on and then the degree to which they maintain safety for the fighters and the people involved. I think more states are going to open up to them. What do you guys think on that one, BV?
I think it's possible, yeah, especially the states that are trying to make the point of letting the world know that they're open for business.
Yeah.
A lot of southern states.
Nevada is definitely going to be the first one.
Yeah, because the mayor for Nevada is crazy and is like, look, man, we can open up right now. What are we talking about?
Yeah, Nevada is definitely going to let them back as soon as possible.
Yeah.
One thing outside of that, they did have some cutbacks. They only had one ring girl.
And the commentators were on like opposite sides of the. It was a little odd,
But they did a segment where they were close, and then they spread it back out. What did you say, Bill?
it was funny that they were so close and with it being so quiet with no crowd that the fighters could hear. The one I can't.
Greg Hardy talked about it.
Yeah, Greg Hardy was
yeah.
like, "Yeah, I heard him say that I wasn't checking the kicks, so I started doing it." And hurt the other guy's foot, and they ended up dominating the fight afterwards.
Yeah,
which was one of the worst fights. The Greg Hardy fight was one of the worst fights, and a couple of the female fight wasn't that exciting.
You didn't enjoy the Karate Hottie?
Yeah,
no.
I gotta tell you, I think that main event was some of the coolest stuff we've seen in a long time. Problem was that lead up to it was that thing was about 3 hours long, I'd say, and probably the best part of it was maybe 45 minutes of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's the sport we got right now, gentlemen. So it's basically like, what are we gonna do? You know, I
do want to say one thing about the Henry Cejudo. How do you say his name?
Cejudo? Yeah,
Cejudo. He's the one that retired, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I respect any sports star or even people in real life that retire while they're on top, or that's the one thing always
go out on your back. Where's Mick Foley to talk about it?
Well, no, but
on your shield.
They still went out. But Ric Flair, look at Ric Flair. I mean, he retired, and 2 weeks later he came back and to go wrestle at TNA. I hate when people do that. It's like, go out on top. You're done. I do respect
but the problem
it. Now, that being said, 4 months from now they're probably doing
fighters and wrestlers.
Fighters are rough that way.
Yeah.
I gotta tell, dude, Korean baseball, dude.
Also not watchable.
That Korean baseball. BB's not a fan of Korean baseball.
It's not that entertaining at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I like baseball.
Are they playing no crowd and everything like that? What do they got there? No crowd.
Yep, no crowds.
So the nice part is once the UFC figured out how to do it once, they're definitely going to crank them out. So just real quick, we got another UFC fight night on Wednesday night. Anthony Smith is going to fight Glover Teixeira. And then there's another good Alistair Overeem is going to fight on Saturday. These are all ESPN Plus. I've talked to you guys at length and anyone listening to us as we go on and on every week. ESPN Plus, a great value, and especially once you get that UFC product going, it's the only show in town. So it's pretty good. So I don't know. I'm optimistic that this gives a roadmap to not only the UFC, but other sports going forward. Like if you take the right precautions, you got to admit, I don't want to get political or whatever, but Dana White was right. I'm sorry. Like he put it on. He did what he was supposed to do. You can't fault anything Dana White did during this. I don't care. If you don't want to get political about it and claim, you know what I mean? Like people, and I was going to save this for a rant, but I'm not. I'm just going to go off on it now. Someone was talking about how Joe Rogan wasn't social distancing at the event when he was getting up there and shaking their hands. Idiots, they tested everyone. So there was no one with coronavirus in the building. So why do you, if we all knew we got tested, if the three of us are sitting in a room all just having gotten tested and got told we don't have it, why do I got to stay 10 feet from Steve? It doesn't make any sense. Like,
it don't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But I got to tell you, I am optimistic that come the fall, I can get... So if the UFC, with all of its money, can figure it out, I feel like NFL football can. And I am definitely optimistic that we are going to get football in the fall, gentlemen. There might not be crowds, but those TV contracts are so lucrative that, you know what I mean?
Well,
like
the NFL already released their schedules.
Yeah, we are getting football, gentlemen, so get ready.
Yeah, let's be honest. If it can be done, the NFL will make sure they capitalize so they can make the money.
So I am
we
all
might
in.
not get college football, but we'll get the NFL.
Yeah. I will see football in the fall. We will have our roundups and everything like that. I got to tell you, like I said, you got to give kudos where it's due. Dana White said he's going to do it and did it, and you can talk all the shit you want about him being a Trump guy and all this kind of stuff. I don't want to get into all that drama because it's not worth it, but nonetheless, he did what he said he was going to do, and it looked very successful.
So that was UFC 249, and now, like Charles said, there's going to be about 82 different UFC events between now and, I don't know,
the three events. So we've got a Wednesday event and a Saturday event. They're all taking place at that same Jacksonville arena. So I would assume that they've contracted a hotel in that area, and they've got their game plan together for all that. So what did you guys think? Let me derail a little bit. BV doesn't like when we go off the notes, but let me just ask the question. What do you guys think about, like, so someone floated that idea of all the teams playing in Arizona and all that kind of stuff. What do you guys think about that, like, for football? Did you guys hear that idea that was floated out? Like, in other words, like, have everyone, like, take over, like, a certain area, and then that way you can ensure player safety and all that. I think that's, you know, that's kind of what, you know, the UFC did. What do you guys think?
The logistics of that for football, though, with 75 people on a team, that's going to be a little harder, though.
Yeah, that's awfully big scale.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I mean, let's be honest, NFL teams don't fly from game to game commercial anyway.
Yeah.
So as long as they can
The
secure
Green Bay Packers do.
Okay, well, and they're fucked. But
they can take a bus.
I don't think that they're gonna, because they're not gonna want to do that. It's probably more cost effective actually for them to just use their own stadiums. People can stay in their own houses or apartments. Whatever.
I think it's more about control. I think that the one of the things that the UFC kind of illustrated was you have to be able to put everyone and ensure that safe environment. And what I get worried about is the more people you have kind of bouncing around, the quicker you lose that control. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing that I get why the UFC did what it did, just to have that ability to say, everyone in here has been tested. Everyone's been underneath our lock and key this week to make sure that we can ensure their safety.
That's also, though, a lot of people, like to Steve's point. That's a lot of people to try to keep under lock and key for extended periods of time, too.
Yeah.
And, I mean, conceivably, if we've done this right, by fall, the landscape should look a lot better than it has over the last couple months, and should be a little bit easier to move about, but we'll see.
By then, Bill Gates will have his vaccine with the microchips in it, so we'll be all right.
Steve's tinfoil hatting right now. And then the government controls you in an app.
Yeah. Now, the side note, I did place a couple illegal bets on a website. So I won $45, right? So today I go like, well, let me extract this $45.
Uh-oh.
Where's the catch?
Well, here was the catch. One, you need a Bitcoin account. And then every time I tried to set up a Bitcoin account, it wanted my social security number. So I was like, nah. It's like, never mind. You can get a paper check, but you have to win over $100. I only won $45. So my money's stuck on there.
In the Bitcoin universe.
So
Sounds like you got to let it ride.
I went to they have slot machines. I just played slot machines till I was out of money.
Okay.
I was like, all right, forget it.
Hoping to get
I'm
over
out
$100 for a paper check. Yeah.
So there's a moral victory here. Do not gamble online on random websites. Unless they're sponsored directly from the casino, I guess.
One could make the argument that you should have checked into that before you bet the money.
That's no fun. Who wants to do that?
BV just told you to be a Republican. So he told you
to be responsible.
I want to be responsible. I was only betting $20, so it wasn't really gonna break the bank.
I'm shocked that didn't work out. Me and BV thought it was gonna be.
I know. You can't trust short gambling sites.
That Argentinian gambling site didn't work out.
Oh yeah, you can't trust a South American gambling site. What the hell?
VenezuelaSlots.com didn't work out.
Oh, yeah. Down is up.
I did win one of my bets, and that's all the moral victory.
You enjoyed it. That's half the. I mean, that's what you spend money on is entertainment. So.
Well, if they ever open the casinos up in Detroit, I can go bet on the next UFC pay-per-view there.
Yeah.
But that might be
coin account first, though.
No, every one of them wanted my social security number. I'm not giving you my social security number. Get the hell out of here.
Well, there has to be a way to convert it.
That Nigerian Prince Bitcoin. This is
I was like, no thanks. I'll just eat the $20. Yeah. All right, so now we got some news this week.
You Henry Cejudo'd, you went out a winner. Is what that was.
So this first news bit really affects me because I really like Mortal Kombat 11, and Mortal Kombat 11's having a whole new story added to it, along with 3 new characters. One of them being none other than the Detroit's own RoboCop.
OCP, baby, OCP. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And there he is.
I gotta tell you. So as BV brought up the picture for his background, that 3D model that I saw on the internet looks amazing. Like, kudos to the development team over there, man.
Here's the only downside. So it's 3 characters and a story mode you're getting. The story mode's only going to be a couple chapters or whatever. Any idea how much they're charging for that?
15 maybe?
$40.
Oh, that's a little steep, dude. $40, right, man. Yeah, that's a little. Can you get just RoboCop for 10 or something?
Right now, they're all one pack. So RoboCop probably be individual eventually. But man,
$40
steep.
is steep.
You could have paid for that with your gambling winnings.
Oh yeah, I could have.
Dude, ask them if they take Bitcoin for RoboCop.
I'm like, you take Bitcoin from an Argentinian kid, because that way I can get RoboCop.
Man. That Nigerian prince is going to get you that RoboCop. You want?
I do like that game a lot, so I'll probably bite the bullet and spend the $40. But that's kind of a bummer that it's $40. Dude,
I tell you, Steve's going to pay the $40, man. So you're part of the problem, man. You vote with your money. You vote with your money.
Hey, you're dying for more UFC. You finally got it and bought it. I've died for more Mortal Kombat. Bill just wants any sport besides Korean baseball. Now, here's a good question, Bill. If they put up a good boxing match with no crowd, would you pay for that?
Fuck yeah, it would.
So we're all guilty.
I'm not sure at this point. I'm not sure it'd have to be all that good. Just give me some names.
What's a match you would like to see, actually?
Well, I'd like to see, and there's actually some talk about this happening in the not too distant future. I'd like to see Joshua and Tyson Fury unify the titles at heavyweight. That's one I'd like to see. I'd like to see Terrence Crawford finally fight someone that's from one of the rival promotions. That's a legit challenge. It's like he's like a really great fighter that's getting a lot of his career wasted because the promotional powers that be can't put those fights together or won't put the fights together to have the best people fight each other. One major problem with boxing. Drives me nuts.
Do you think boxing would be weird with no crowd?
No.
I think it would have the same UFC vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you watch maybe the absolute big fights, but if you've ever watched a boxing and you've watched more than a handful of
prelim stuff, yeah.
Yeah, the early fights, even during the pay-per-view, you only see the crowd start to just filter in really slowly. And the early fights, there's just not a whole lot of people there. So you get to the main event, it's more of an event, a place where celebrities and other people are there to be seen than it really is for hardcore boxing fans.
But the real question is, will they have more than one ring girl?
I don't know, social distancing. They can only have the one.
Yeah, I don't see the point of the ring girls, to be honest with you.
Uh-oh, we're going to do a whole other BV thing. Watch out.
Yeah, again.
Turn left.
When I'm watching sports, I'm not looking. That's one situation where I'm not looking to see TNA. I want to focus on
Steve
the sport.
Always is looking for TNA.
All right, so Mortal Kombat, and somehow we got into a boxing thing. So I'm going to spend money on Mortal Kombat. Charles going to spend it on UFC, and Bill would spend it on a hypothetical boxing match if it ever happened.
I am with you, though.
I might pay for pay-per-view for a good snooker match right now.
Snooker, too? Oh, wow.
Snooker match.
I got to tell you, though, $40 for that RoboCop DLC is a ridiculous amount.
Yeah, it's way overpriced.
But you'll pay it.
Most likely. All right. So next, because our wives are such huge Harry Potter fans, and this dead horse has not been beaten enough, there's new Audible books with Harry Potter where Daniel Radcliffe reads them, among other celebrities, mostly in England. And you can get them and download them and listen to your Harry Potter books read to you by the celebrities. Any interest in that for you guys?
I often wonder what it's like to be BV when we talk about Star Wars stuff. And all you have to do is bring up Harry Potter, and I immediately check out mentally. Yeah.
I only put that on there because of our wives.
I know, but
and I'm still just like BV when you guys, we'll talk about Star Wars because this, at least I kind of understand Star Wars. I've seen some of the movies, but yeah, completely lost, no interest whatsoever.
Haven't it been done to death already? I mean, who's still out there who's into Harry Potter, hasn't read or heard the books? Or
what are they going to do differently? Are they going to give you insight? Are they going to, you know what I mean? Like just them reading? Like you're just a sucker at that point.
No, just some high-pitched British guy going, And then he cast the spell upon the...
Sounds just like a Daniel Radcliffe on the show.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Someone like Sam Jackson or Morgan Freeman or something to do it. Make it kind of interesting.
But to Steve's point, you're just going back to the well. Going back to the well.
On a side note, for charity, this past week, I don't know if you saw it, Andy Serkis read all 3 volumes of Lord of the Rings and did the voices and stuff
cool.
for charity.
At least he can do something to it. You know what I mean?
People pay for that shit?
Well, it was free, but you go there and you donate to whatever charity. It was some kind of COVID relief fund thing.
I'm sorry, I like Lord of the Rings, and I wouldn't watch it for free.
Yeah, it literally, he was just sitting there with glasses on and like an iPad reading it. I was like, oh, this is rough. So there was that. But that was for charity. It wasn't trying to sell you a book. Next up, Tom Cruise's next movie is going to be in space.
I seen this. Yeah, he's working with Elon Musk and SpaceX to actually send it up so he can record at the International Space Station. Tom Cruise is a crazy person. I don't know what's going on. We live in a world where you can completely digitize everything. I'm all for practical effects at some point, but this just seems egregious. I don't know, I guess.
Now, he is aware he can't run in the International Space Station.
I don't know, man.
Because he has to run every movie he's in. Bill, any thoughts on Tom Cruise in space?
No, it's kind of, because he's the lead actor in my favorite movie of all time, but that was like 30 years ago, and he's batshit.
He means cocktail,
great.
Steve. Don't be look so
no,
confused.
I mean a few
cocktail.
good men.
Cocktail. That's what he's talking about. He's way into flair bartending.
I think you got me confused with Mr. Nolan.
I thought it was risky business.
Yeah.
Is he a good man?
You good man? Yeah.
Oh wow! All right. There you go. So he's going to be going in space. We can only hope for it to blow up on the way up there. All right. Fine. Now, along with Cinco de Mayo and Star Wars Day, on October 7th, there was a big Xbox presentation of all the new games and all the new stuff. They went right into games. They showed about 10, 12 different games.
Yep.
The ones that stuck out to me, of course, was the Assassin's Creed we talked about last week. Yep. That looked good. Now, Yakuza Dragon one, this is the Yakuza games are always like an open, they're like basically a Japanese version, close enough to Xbox. They're like a Japanese version of Grand Theft Auto, basically, was Yakuza. And of course, Madden.
The Madden trailer was so cheesy. Yeah, I was so annoyed. I was like, it was a bunch of retro shots, dude. Yeah, I was like, get out of here, Patrick Mahomes.
And some of the other games, they seem to be covering everything. So they had some horror games, they had suspense games, some weird quirky ones with weird characters. I didn't really see any racing games yet, but they had a big variety. The videos are online. You can find all of them. But the one thing I saw that was the most interesting was the smart delivery thing.
This thing's a great idea. Great idea.
So if Charles and I buy Assassin's Creed for the regular Xbox, and then the new Xbox comes out in December, you buy the new Xbox, the game automatically, for free, upgrades to the newest version.
Let me ask the question. What's the time frame? So, in other words, this fall, I think that the new consoles are going to launch, as they've already got out in front of it and said that they're going to. What is the... so if I bought the new Assassin's Creed Valhalla on my OG Xbox One X... And next June, let's say I finally get myself on a Series X or whatever the new, it was a Series X or whatever. Will it smart deliver at that point?
I believe so. I believe it's for the life of the game. Because you're just unlocking a code that unlocks it to go to the Xbox, what is the new one? Series X.
It's funny to me to watch... More than any other corporations, video game corporations have gotten socially beat up so much that they do good things because... So, like, Steve made mention of, like, Mortal Kombat charging $40, right? Yeah. The nice part is like, that's the only time they can kind of get over on you is when, like, something like that. But, like, the backlash on so many things... When these companies try to get greedy, people just let them have it. It's so funny to see. And this is good on them. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a good thing, so...
In the face of the basic tenets of capitalism. and I'm not buying it. They're gonna go the whole life of a game and let you go ahead and transition to new platforms.
Yeah, but
the problem is the Assassin's Creed game 6 months after it comes out is only at $5 at GameStop anyway. You know what I mean?
And Assassin's Creed's not made by Microsoft; it's made by Ubisoft.
Yeah.
So if you upgrade to the new game on their system, it's not gonna cost them anything. Really, Ubisoft's the one that would flip the bill on that. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Right now, PlayStation has been silent. They haven't said anything about it. They're going to have smart delivery. I imagine through competition, they're going to have to do the same thing for free. If not, people will be like, well, up yours.
The biggest thing out of all this that I'm waiting on is what is the dollar amount for the new consoles? Because, like...
You won't get that till October.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they are going to hold that so close to the chest because I feel, and we've gone round and round, I think they're going to be very premium priced. I really do. And that's what I can't wait to see, is to see the reality of these consoles. Because, again, the gameplay on that Valhalla game, man, it is something that you see and you go, damn, you can't do that on a current-gen console. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so they're getting to that point where, like, okay, yeah, I'm into it, but what's the reality, you know?
Yeah.
I'm thinking $7.95.
Okay.
Damn. That was an awful random and precise number at the same time. Well, you're like $7.95.
It's not off base. I think it's going to be right around that G mark. I really do. They're going to tout how much that stuff can, and again, that new Xbox looks like a workhorse, so.
Yeah, but every time they've done that, Xbox One X or Xbox One when it launched with the Kinect, if you remember, cost more than the PS4. And guess
the
what?
Social backlash freaked out. Yeah, I agree.
PS3 came out at $600, and Xbox came out at $400. Which one sold better? The Xbox did. Then when PS3 dropped the price, it started catching up.
Yeah.
So $7.95 is going to be a tough button.
Dude, that's a lot of cabbage, man.
Especially after this year, where everyone's suffering for money to begin with. That's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah.
All right. So now, one thing, interesting news this week. Bill, are you a huge fan of Nick Cage?
I actually don't. For the most part, don't like Nick Cage at all.
Oh, okay, good.
Wow.
So you'll be excited to hear that there is a National Treasure 3 that they're working on for the theaters, and a National Treasure TV series for the Disney Plus. The one coming to theaters will have Nick Cage, Jon Voight, and all the people. And Bill says, I want people on the beach. But the one on Disney Plus is supposed to be a younger generation where Nick Cage might show up to just mentor him, and then that's it. So 2 National Treasure properties. Anyone seen these movies? Does anyone like these movies?
I actually kind of don't hate the National Treasure movies,
if
I'm honest. That kind of like, holy crap, did you look at like this inner text and all? It can be, because it's kind of the Da Vinci Code. It's, you know what I mean? Like, it's not terrible.
More action than Da
Vinci Code. I don't know. I don't hate it, but I definitely won't say, hey, you know what you need a Disney Plus subscription for? The National Treasure show that's coming out. I don't know about that. You know. Yeah. So,
Bill, have you ever seen the National Treasure movies?
No, I haven't. I don't know anything about what they're about, or
it's like a modern day Indiana Jones, but all based in the U.S.
Yeah, and he's going around like in the Washington Monument, and like the forefathers leave clues and stuff like that. Admittedly, I can kind of like not hate on them that much. They're okay to me. You know what I mean?
Yep, they're entertaining. That's gonna do it for the news. RoboCop's going to Mortal Kombat.
For $40.
Harry Potter can be read to you by celebrities. Tom Cruise is going to run in space. Xbox is going to give you free upgrades on your games, and National Treasure coming in 2 different formats. Is anything left we got to talk about today before we wrap things up?
No, like I said, I just brought up that Joe Rogan thing. I just thought that was hilarious that people were breaking his balls for getting close to people. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yes, and then Bill, of course, we'd like to thank him for all his topical backgrounds that he has.
Yeah,
I still can't. I don't know how he's doing it. He's working some witchcraft over there because I can't do it on mine. I think Bill secretly bought a green screen, didn't tell anybody.
He just wheels it in.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't know where to buy a green screen.
Oh. Elgato website actually has them. You can wheel them in. They're portable, and you pull them down. I saw them the other day. I was laughing about
Steve's
that.
down a whole rabbit hole, dude.
Yeah, it was. It really
was. Like what they use for like press conferences, where they put like a banner behind it. And...
Yeah. Press. So, all right. So that's gonna do it for episode 96 of the podcast. Of course, you can catch us on iTunes and Google Play, and anywhere you catch podcasts on. Until next week, this is Steve
and Charles.
We'll catch you next time.